Wait till he get a belt.
Yeah.
He ain't did nothing in the welterweight today.
You
When
have
he get
did
a belt,
nothing.
when he
You
get a
have
belt,
did
you want to
You
go
have
over
did
there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so why?
Okay. Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out?
So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out?
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck out of here.
So what it is, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before I get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean? Okay, so cool. So a couple of days ago, man, I dropped this video talking about how I believe David Avanesyan will beat Keith Thurman, right? And most people, most logical thinking people agree with me. But there's always going to be those Spence fanboys, those Spence supporters, those nut huggers, those D-riders who are always going to go against what your boy King David got to say, right? Because what I'm saying doesn't necessarily paint Earl Spence in the best of light. So these dudes are going to continually attempt to cap in order to protect Earl Spence Jr., right? So I'm going to bring one particular comment in the mind, and I'm going to pull it up here on the screen in a minute. It's by Sarug Pharaoh, right? Clearly, he's an Earl Spence fan, you know what I mean? Clearly. You can just tell by the language in his comment. But let's go ahead and read the brother comment, and let's proceed to break down my conversation with this good brother, right? So the brother says, "Bro, y'all making me think y'all never watched boxing in y'all life. What are y'all smoking? Y'all lap dancing on Terrence Crawford." Let me stop it right there. Why y'all Earl Spence fans always gotta come with some gay shit, bro? Like, why you niggas always gotta be? Why you niggas always gotta turn everything into some? Why y'all gotta turn everything into some weirdo shit, bro? You know what I'm saying? You dudes always come over here with that weirdo shit, bro. Come on, man, with all that goofy shit, bro. But let's continue on, right? He proceeds to say, Keith will beat the shit out of this bum, right? Keith ain't lose one round his last fight, hurting his opponent several times. And don't forget, Barrio wanted 10-ounce gloves, which takes away power, but 8-ounce gloves, Barrios would have been stopped. It's a difference. I've been boxing since I was 16, and 8-ounce gloves hurt a lot more than 10-ounce gloves. Y'all capping too hard, bro. Stop it. Okay. So the brother starts off by saying, Keith would beat the shit out of this bum. So first of all, you calling Avanesyan a bum. He's a top 10 welterweight. I don't understand why you weird ass dudes always want to. You're so quick to call people a bum. You talking about how I don't know boxing. Well, nigga, clearly you don't know boxing, because if you're a top 10 welterweight, how the fuck can you just be a bum? Right? How you just gonna be a bum and you a top 10 welterweight? Dude clearly fought himself up to the top 10. It ain't like Crawford pulled this nigga up from rank 48 or 50 or whatever. This dude is a top 10 welterweight in every sanctioning body. Right? So you calling this dude a bum, and then you saying that Keith Thurman would beat the shit out of him. Well, then why the fuck didn't Keith Thurman fight him? Why didn't Keith Thurman fight David Avanesyan if he was such a bum and he's such an easy fight and all this? This dude Keith Thurman ain't fought since January. He could have fought him. Why he ain't fight him? Right? And then I don't know that Keith Thurman does shit. When was the last time Keith Thurman fought a welterweight? Our way? When was the last time Keith Thurman fought a welterweight, my boy? Keith Thurman last welterweight fight was 3 years ago versus Manny Pacquiao. 3 years ago. So I don't know how Keith would fare in the ring against any welterweight, let alone a top 10 welterweight, because he hasn't fought one in the last 3 years. Let me say that shit again for the people in the back. He hasn't fought a welterweight in the last 3 years, so I don't know how he would do. Right? But the logical thinking components in my mind tells me that if you haven't been in a fight in 3 years, if you haven't been in a welterweight fight in 3 years, you probably not gonna do too well. Especially if your first opponent is a top 10 welterweight in a David Avanesyan. Right? But let's proceed to move on to what I had to say to the brother. So I asked the brother a very simple question. Since you've been boxing for years, let me ask you a question. What would happen to the average boxer if they stopped boxing for 3 years and then tried to fight a top 10 ranked opponent? Let's see if you're going to be real or cap. Right? Because anybody that stops doing anything for 3 years, how the fuck can you expect them to perform at the top of the division, right? That ain't normal shit. That ain't nothing a normal fighter could do. A normal fighter is not gonna stop boxing for 3 years and then come back into the sport, or stop doing anything for 3 years and then come back into it and then perform at the elite level or the top 10 level, right? That's just not how shit works, unless you're beyond that level, unless you're a Floyd Mayweather or somebody like that. But we're gonna get into that, because he proceeds to say, bro, Keith ain't the first boxer to take long layoffs and come back whipping ass. Yes, there's some ring rust, but Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, Mikey Garcia, to name a few. Thurman is a top 5 guy with only one split decision loss, and his style will be a nightmare for top guys. He's been fighting since he was 7 or some shit. You just don't lose that. Why you see? Okay, I ain't gonna read the whole rest of that, but we got the point, right? And I proceed to say what I was just saying earlier. Bro, you naming a bunch of exceptions to the rule, my guy. You naming a bunch of exceptions to the rule, right? Why do you think those fighters are known for being great in the first place? This is what I say. Normal fighters can't do that. Think about it. Even if they do make those moves, most of the time they don't jump straight into a big fight. These are facts. Even Floyd Mayweather, he doesn't come back after a long layoff and fight the best guy in the division. No, he'll fight the 4th, 5th, or maybe 6th best guy or somebody. Even Floyd Mayweather, for as great as he is as a fighter, right? And Keith Thurman ain't nowhere near no motherfucking Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, when he took the long layoff, his first fight was against Robert Guerrero, right? After he had got off his last long layoff, right? Even Floyd Mayweather wouldn't come back and fight the top guy. So how you expect somebody like a Earl Spence, Keith Thurman, to come back after not fighting a welterweight for the last 3 years and then get in the ring with one of the top welterweights, because he's probably the number 2. He is the number 2 guy in the welterweight division, and be successful? How do you expect that, my boy? I'm just really trying to figure this out. And then I proceed to tell him I wouldn't pick Thurman to beat anyone in the top 10 now. And I'm a Thurman fan. So if anybody been rocking with me longer than 2 years, 3 years, you know, you can go back in my channel and the videos are still up. I was a Keith Thurman fan. You can go back and peep those videos. And for me to say that I wouldn't pick Thurman to beat any top 10 welterweight means that I understand the reality of the situation. Keith Thurman is an injury-prone fighter. He hasn't fought at the elite level in 3 years. He hasn't fought a welterweight in 3 years. And then in his first fight back, he's going up against the number 2 guy in the division when he hasn't fought a welterweight in 3 years. Bro, y'all got to make this shit make sense. Who do you expect to be able to do that and do it successfully? Not even Floyd Mayweather would attempt that. Even Andre Ward, when he was moving up to fight Kovalev, he had to take 1 or 2 fights before he took the Kovalev fight. He didn't just go straight into a Kovalev fight. Andre Ward, for all of his greatness, still took a few fights before he jumped in there with the top guy. But but Keith Thurman is supposed to do it, right? And he's supposed to be a better opponent than David Avanesyan at this particular point, even though the nigga ain't fought a welterweight in the last 3 years, right? And then Cuzzo proceeds to go on and say, you can't be a fan if you're saying that Thurman isn't a special fighter and that he can't bounce back. You're not looking at all the details and show greatness and he's shown greatness, and that just doesn't die because of the layoff. He's clearly better skill wise. So he goes in and he's like, oh, now he's trying to guilt trip me on Keith Thurman. Like, come on, my boy. I mean, Keith Thurman is a good fighter. And that's what I say in my next comment. Keith Thurman is a good fighter, but calling him anything more than that is a stretch, and you know it. He's done nothing to prove anything otherwise. Less than 40 fights, 1 weight class, 1 loss, 2 belts, elect, not great. To come back after a 3-year layoff and go on to a title fight or even a top 10 ranked match and be successful is unrealistic. You know better, bruh. It takes a once in a generation talent, and that ain't Thurman. This version of Thurman would lose to Avanesyan and any top 10 welterweight. You know I'm right. And that goes for anybody who's defending this bullshit. Y'all know I'm right. Period. You know what I mean? Cuzzo go on to say, bro, it ain't nothing on God's green earth that will get me to believe that just let me lay this out for you so you understand that there's levels. Keith only fought in 1 division so far, right? But let me tell you who did Crawford beat that Keith couldn't? And I want you to keep it real. So now he asking me who could he, you know what I mean? That's what these dudes do when they deflecting and shit, bro. But at the end of the day, when you start talking about who Keith could beat, who Keith couldn't beat, that Bud beat, first of all, we don't know none of that shit for a fact. Even a prime Keith Thurman, right? Even a prime Keith Thurman, we don't know that he gets through a Terrence Crawford record. We don't know that at all. I mean, we were trying to get Keith Thurman versus Kell Brook for the longest. The shit never happened. Who knows how Keith Thurman would have fared in some of those fights. But you know, I'll say this. I'll tell you this, right? The fact of the matter, it don't matter how Keith Thurman would have fared against some of the dudes on Terrence Crawford's resume, or if he could have got through all of the dudes on Terrence Crawford's resume. Because at the end of the day, the Keith Thurman you talking about that you think woulda, shoulda, coulda got through everybody on Terrence Bud Crawford resume isn't the same Keith Thurman that we got here today. It ain't the same Keith Thurman, y'all. This new Keith Thurman ain't one time. And that's the part of this shit that you niggas just don't get. But I'm gonna wrap the video up right here, man. Let me know what you think, man. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, man, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.